Okay, well, good morning. Can you see this big one that I made?
Yeah.
So I have to figure out the camera here. I went out in the woods and I found the branches for this. And the feathers came from my daughter's chickens. She picked pretty ones for me. And then I cut up the yarn and uh, wrapped it around. And then I glued on some beads. You could also use, if you can find a needle that'll go through your beads, you could use a needle to thread on beads. So mostly right now, I'm just going to show you some different ones you can make. A young lady made this for me. She found some twigs and she made this with that furry yarn. Have you seen that before?
No.
Okay, that's like from Joann's. And then this is ribbon yarn. So you can do lots of different, use lots of different kinds of things for your God's Eye or your Ojo de Dios. Did you read the instructions that came with your kit?
Um.
Or did you look at them?
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably saw that it's a symbol made by indigenous people in Mexico and southwestern United States, and it's kind of supposed to be a protective thing. And today we use it to make pretty things to hang in our windows and on our Christmas trees, and they can be decorated lots of different ways. So, do you have your popsicle sticks that I made for you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And do you have some yarn ready?
Mhm.
All right. So if you look here, I've got various things out. I don't know what all you can see. The first thing I did to make this was I glued my popsicle sticks together. And I did that for you. It makes it much easier to start them. I also saw that if you have glue dots in your house, you can use a glue dot here to glue your sticks together. And I think they use those glue dots in things like scrapbooking.
Okay.
So if you get your sticks and put them in your hand and you wrap the yarn like this. And if you need me to slow down or to show you something again, please say so, Audrey. And that is your
Okay.
name, right? This is
Yeah.
Audrey. Okay, and I'm Linda. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm Linda. Okay, so do you have your yarn wrapped one time with your finger holding it in back?
So you hold it like that and wrap it. Yes.
Oh, yeah, so what you have is a finger holding the loose end of the yarn in back, you know, the tail end
Yeah.
in the middle, okay? And then you bring this yarn around the front and you're going to wrap it a few times around there. And I'm sorry, I keep having to go back and find that camera. So does yours look a little bit like that now?
Yes.
Okay, so now you're going to take your yarn into the back and then you're going to wrap it the other way and you're going to make an X.
Okay.
See that X?
Yeah.
So you want to cover your sticks. Do you have a baby brother or sister there?
Yeah.
That's what I thought I heard. Yeah.
She's playing with her Barbie doll.
Oh, okay. All right. And then you can do that again if you want the other way. Up to you. But when you have the middle as wrapped as you want it, you have to start wrapping along these sticks. Now you're going to be wrapping the yarn. And there's a specific way to do it that gets things covered. So you wrap like, let's see, let me see if I can get it right. Yes, wrap. And you wrap one time around each stick and you're turning it clockwise, like in the direction of the clock hands. How's that going?
Good.
Okay, have you made these before, Audrey?
No.
No? You didn't come to Fiber Fest last year and make any with me at the table?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe next year you'll be able to. We hope we can be at the table next year. So you can see mine is starting to look good. I'll tell you what though, I'm not happy with this part. So I am going to go back and take it out. And that's the fun thing about making God's eyes and about things like knitting and crochet. If you're not happy with it, take it out and try again. So there. I'm taking that out and then I'll start wrapping again. And I like that nice blue better without the gray on it. What color are you using?
Purple.
Oh, nice. I should have some purple coming up here soon. So now you're just going to keep wrapping. And how is your wrapping going? Are you getting those popsicle sticks filled?
Yes.
Good. There, you can see how I'm going. And another thing to remember, Audrey, when you're making these, is that it's okay to do it the way you want to do it. You don't have to stick with exactly this way. You can, I'm going to put this down and show you something while you're wrapping. One of the things I want to try, and I haven't, is putting more sticks together like this and wrapping like that. And I saw this on the internet. It was really pretty. Somebody had wrapped it, and maybe if we have time today, you and I could try that. Do you have any more popsicle sticks at your house?
Yes.
Okay, so you could get more sticks and try it. Also, you can go out in the woods and look for some branches. I chose kind of big branches from an old pile we had sitting around. That
I do have a few trees in my backyard.
Okay, well, there you go. Another thing you can do is go to Joann's or Michael's, a craft store, and purchase dowels. And do you know what a dowel is?
Yes.
Okay, so you can purchase dowels and you can cut those to the length you want. There you can see mine's coming along. I wish I could see yours, but I can't. I hope you're enjoying this. I like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I forgot to tell you is that you can also hang pom-poms off the ends when you have a longer God's eye. You can take and make a pom-pom and hang it. I also have leaves and I have sequins. Let's see if I can get those where you can see them. Those can be glued on and you can see the beads. So how is your winding going? Are you getting close to the end of your stick? Or do you have questions about what we're doing?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep winding mine a little more while you wind yours and talk about the things you need if you decide to make more at home without a kit. You of course need a frame. This is called your frame. You need popsicle sticks or other kinds of sticks. You need scissors and of course yarn and some glue. And then buttons, beads, pom-poms, whatever you would like to use to decorate your God's eye. These make wonderful presents for grandpas and grandmas and aunties and uncles at Christmas time.
Every year I do an ornament for my family. So maybe I'll do this year.
No, I think that's a wonderful idea. What colors do you think you would use?
maybe like a few blue ones, maybe some Christmas colors.
Mhm. Maybe a purple one?
Yeah.
Does your little sister like purple?
Yes, she loves pink, purple, and red.
Oh, nice. Pink and purple go together beautifully, and purple and red go together. I don't know about the three of them together. I'd have to look at that. But I think these would be lovely presents to make. And in a minute, I will show you how to tie it off, and I hope I can make that work properly. Sometimes I have troubles, but we'll try. Are you almost to the end, or are you still wrapping?
I'm about halfway.
Okay. Now you keep on wrapping and tell me when you are close to the end.
Okay.
Do you have a pair of scissors with you today?
Yes.
Oh, good. I might try starting the sixth one and see what happens. So when you have finished wrapping your yarn, we have to take it off in a manner that allows you to hang it from a window or a tree or wherever you want to put it. It's really hard. How you doing there, Audrey?
I'm almost done.
Okay. Don't cut the yarn until I tell you, okay?
Okay.
For the sixth one, we need longer sticks.
Okay, I am done.
Okay. Now, you can see that I have about 10 inches of yarn. So cut a nice long piece of yarn about a foot long, or cut your yarn at about a foot.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a craft needle today, or are you using just your hands?
I'm using just my hands.
Okay. So I won't do this with a craft needle. So watch what I do and let's hope this works. I take my yarn and I pull it through the last thing. I'm trying to get to where you can see it. So I've pulled it through and made the start of a knot right there, just the start of one. You don't want the knot on the front, so we're going to take it to the back. So it just is wrapped under this last thread.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, do you have it done or do I need to wait?
I have it done.
All right, so then you turn your ojo over to the back side, taking that yarn with you.
Okay.
And we're going to let's see if I've got to watch my hands. Audrey, if you need me to move my hands or something, say so. I'm just kind of getting used to this. Loosen that a bit. If you had a needle, it would help to thread, but we're going to thread it through right here through the last little loop there. And then you make a knot. You tighten up that last loop that has the threads through it. And you make a knot. And you might find a better way to do this, a way that works better for you. And you snip it. Now, do you need me to do that again? Oops, 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 there's the camera.
Yes.
I can do it again.
Yes, I need you to do it again.
Okay, let me cut my knot off. Okay, so pretend you have just wrapped your last wrap.
Okay.
And I think if you lay this down, it might be better. And I'm going to try and watch the computer while I do this. So there's how I've got it right now. I'm going to take this last string of yarn under that popsicle stick.
Okay.
Then I'm going to pick up the end and I'm going to poke it through this last bit of yarn.
Okay.
Take your time. Okay. Now I think, can you see that how I've got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you can pull it like that. And now you have just kind of the start of a knot, like if you were tying your shoes, this would be the first part of the knot right there. So now we turn it over and bring the string to the back.
Okay.
Good. And then just loosen this up a little bit, this part that had it slightly tied.
Yes.
And it might help to wet your string a little bit, your yarn, so you can poke it through. And you take and poke it through right there.
Okay.
And it should be pointing to the top of your God's eye.
Yes, it is.
And then so do you have it poked through, Audrey?
Yes.
Great. All right, now tighten up that last gray line just a little bit, and then you're going to pull the string just a bit. So we have a loop and we have a loose piece, sort of. And now we're going to tie it just like you would tie your shoes.
Okay.
So that you have a little knot in the back.
And
you should be able to pick it up like that.
done.
Yay, you did it. Does it hang nicely from your finger?
Yes.
Okay, so one thing I'm going to suggest, Audrey, if you decide to do these for Christmas presents, having a craft needle, where's the camera? There, is very helpful. And having some Elmer's glue is helpful. Just washable school glue is what I have. To make these knots stay, put a little drop of glue right there and let it dry. And that'll help keep your ojo from falling apart. Now, if you want to decorate it, you can take and you can use your craft needle and sew in feathers if you want, or you can poke the quill end through and then glue it in back.
Yeah.
You can also take sequins and
Hey.
ones on it. Audrey, would you turn on your camera so we can see your Ojo, please?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Ooh, what a pretty blue room. Okay, hold it up and let's see it. Oh, look at that. Very pretty. Good job. Hi, little sister. Maybe someday you'll be able to teach your sister how to make those too. Do you want to try making one more? Do we still have time?
Yes.
Okay. So would you like to make the other one from your kit?
Sure.
And we can do it together just to make sure that you feel comfortable with what you're doing.
Okay. Oh, thank you for this.
Let's see, I need to get these. I did try, Audrey, I don't know if you saw that I tried making the 6-pointed one, and it's kind of hard with these short, fat little popsicle sticks. I'm thinking that if you had some longer dowels, it would work better. And if you notice on the sheet of instructions, Audrey, at the bottom, there were some references that you could go online and find instructions for making these. And they have different ideas than the ones I'm showing you too. So if you have time to do that sometime and it's okay with your mom, you should look up those things. And you can just type in God's Eye or Ojo de Dios and you'll get even more websites that you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are you ready to start again or are you still choosing colors?
I'm just choosing some colors.
Okay, and that was one thing I forgot to tell you was how to
Things
change
that you
colors.
can do. Mm-hmm.
What colors are you going to use?
The sparkly pink and
Oh, you got the sparkly pink.
these that very light pink.
Okay. Nice. What do you think you'll start with?
That's talking and this is I'm gonna start with the dark one.
The dark pink. Okay. That sparkly pink, you'll notice might be a little thinner than the dark pink. So you might have to do more wraps with it. But just make sure as you're wrapping your yarn around your popsicle sticks that you're laying the yarn, each new wrap right next to the other wrap. So do you remember how to start?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me how you start?
Well, you start by taking your yarn and putting it and you hold it in the back.
Good. And then bring it to the front.
Yes, and then you bring it to the front and you do a few wraps.
Exactly. Very good. I can tell you were listening. Okay. So I'm going to do what you said. And then the next step was to turn it and make an X across.
With the yarn.
And you know what that does, Audrey, is help hold the popsicle sticks together, especially if they're not glued. Okay, so when you've got your wraps, you start wrapping clockwise, that's called. Are you at that point yet?
Yes.
Okay, well, go ahead and start wrapping.
Okay.
And while we wrap the yarn around our next Ojo, I'll tell you a little bit about choosing materials. Yarn is great, and there are many, many kinds of yarn that you can use. If you choose to use this furry yarn, it would probably be better to have larger sticks.
Mm-hmm.
The ribbon yarn is really fun and pretty. And I don't know that it matters. I think longer sticks for that too, because the popsicle sticks are quite short. But if, for instance, you go somewhere to purchase yarn to make ojos with, you want to buy yarn that has what is called short color changes. Some yarn that's a variegated yarn changes its colors really fast. So you have a little bit of purple. Oops, I keep going out of the camera. You get a little bit of red and purple, and then more red, and it's about a foot of each. Other yarn might have 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 feet of one color. And because your ojos are quite small, you're going to get all one color. And that's not as much fun unless that's what you want. So you want to look, if you want a variegated yarn that changes colors like this one I'm using here, you want to look for one with short color changes, not long color changes. When you are ready to change to your sparkly yarn, will you tell me, please, so that we can talk about changing colors?
I'm ready to change.
Oh, good. Okay, well, I'm going to change with you, and maybe I'll change first. Why don't you watch what I do, and then you can change. So I'm going to just snip my yarn off pretty close because I'm not using that piece for hanging.
Okay.
Then I'm going to get my next color out of my bag. I think I might use this pretty peachy orange.
Okay.
So there. Ooh, my fingers are sticky. All right. So on the back of the God's Eye, let's see, I've got to make sure, yeah, I'm going to lay it down and I'm holding the end of both yarns with my thumb.
Okay.
It's a little bit hard at first. And then you're going to wrap just like you have been.
Okay.
Those ends till you get to them. And then wrap. And you're going to wrap those colors under.
Okay.
And after a couple more wraps, you can go in and you can just snip those.
Okay.
So you just want to have these colors so that they get covered by one of your wraps, both yarns, and that holds them down for you. It takes the place of your thumb or whatever finger you're using to hold it down. And again, if you're not in a hurry, you can stop and maybe make a knot there. I'll show you. I'm going to come around right here. I'm going to put it down, and you can see it already has one wrap. So I'm going to pick these up and just tie a little knot, if I can do that. And it's on the back. You want to make sure your knot is on the back. So, how are you doing with your color change?
Good.
Are you ready to wrap?
Yes.
Sounds like we're going to do some singing, doesn't it? Are you ready to wrap?
Yes.
Okay, so just keep wrapping your yarn now. Around and around.
Okay.
Until you're ready to take it off or change colors again.
Okay.
If you have any trouble, just say so that I can answer the question.
What, Denali?
This go down class.
Yes. and around.
Is that sparkly pink working?
Yes, it's working and it's looking really pretty.
I bet. I like that sparkly yarn. That's from my stash at home.
And we're just gonna do small.
I'm glad you're a better student than I am, Audrey. I had a terrible time learning how to make. It just didn't make sense for some reason. It took me a long time, and I'm still not the best at these. Okay. When you are done with your pink, you just say so, and we'll practice taking it off again.
Okay, and I'm done with that.
Are you going to put any more colors on?
I did sparkly and then I did a light pink and I think I'm gonna do one more sparkly.
Okay, hold it up and let me see it so far. Can you without wrecking it? You don't have to. You can show me when you're done.
I think I'll show you when I'm done.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay, so we do and
It
then,
might be fun to try making these with toothpicks and sewing thread.
yeah, that might take a bit longer though.
Probably. I think you would definitely want to glue the toothpicks first, so that you
I
had
do sew.
I'm sorry, what?
I do sew. I have 2 of my own sewing machines my grandma got me.
Oh my goodness, lucky you. That's wonderful. Do you sew on them?
Yeah, my grandma lives 2 doors down, so.
So what do you like to sew on your sewing machines?
Well, right now I'm working on a quilt.
Mm-hmm.
I have made like 3 purses. I made a dress,
Wow, good for you. And how old are you, Audrey?
10.
And good for you. So you're going to be a good seamstress.
I also made a doll sleeping bag for her and a blanket for her doll too.
Mm-hmm. You're being a good sister too. That's great. Okay, are you ready to take it off now?
Yes.
All right, do you remember how long the string should be?
Yes, about a foot.
That is correct. So go ahead and cut your string.
Okay. Done?
Okay, do you remember what the next step was?
Yeah, we put it under the last loop.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Okay.
And then take it to the back.
And we put it in a knot.
That's right, put it under again. Mm-hmm. And I have a time with my fingers trying to get that under there. That's where your craft needle comes in handy. They're like these blue plastic needles from Joann's or Michael's.
I have one of those.
Okay, well, that's really handy for making things like this. So then tighten it up a bit so it doesn't come off.
Okay.
Whoops, and mine just came off. So I've got to work a little bit and get my finger there, and then you make the final knot.
Yes. And I am done.
Okay, hang on a minute. I'm not quite, and I want to see yours.
Okay.
Okay, let's show it to everybody.
And here.
I'm ready. Hold it up a little closer to the camera. Come in slow. Oh, isn't that pretty, Audrey? And you have it on blue sticks or purple sticks?
Purple.
Purple, nice. Well, very good. And here is mine. I haven't trimmed the thread yet. There's mine.
I
Not
like
as
it.
pretty as yours, but thank you. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so you have used both of your popsicle sticks from your kit.
Hmm.
You have some ideas about what you might do next?
Yes, I do. Might try multiple sticks, like
Mhm.
more than 2.
That would be fun. I think I might have to go home and try that too. Do you have some place to get feathers from?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Do we have a little bit more time? Okay, we have a little more time, Audrey. I was going to show you, maybe you already know how to make a tassel. Do you know how to make a tassel?
No.
Okay. Do you have some yarn left in your kit there?
Yes.
Pull out a piece, pull out one of those hunks of yarn.
Okay.
And let's see if I can remember to keep my hands under the camera.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, look at my hands.
I see your hand.
Okay, I have my fingers, three fingers together, and I lay a piece of yarn like that, and then I put my thumb on it. And then I'm going to wrap the yarn around and around and around,
Okay.
maybe 5 or 6 times. And then I'm going to cut the yarn down here where that other loose piece was,
Okay.
so that it ends at the bottom there. See if okay, I did that. All right. Then we have to take it off our fingers carefully, holding it. And you have another piece of yarn that you wrap around the top to hold it tight. And it takes a little practice. Instead of using your fingers, you can also cut a card or use a 3x5 note card, a little piece of cardboard to wrap your yarn around. So what you can see is I have this yarn and it's tied at the top, so it looks like it has a little head. And I'm going to cut a longer piece of yarn. And I'm going to tie this. Oh, my fingers are so sticky. This is not the best way, but okay. So I have, Audrey, I have hung this tassel here, and it's not finished quite yet. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut at the bottom all those round bits of yarn. So there is a tassel that's hard to see because it's so dark. I should have chosen a different color. But you make like, here, this might work. If you have something, there's just a piece of cardboard or something about this size,
Yes.
and you wrap your yarn around and around and around and around. And then if you use your craft needle, that makes it easier. You can put it under the yarn here
Okay.
and wrap it around. Oh, let's see here. And then take it off
My little.
and tighten it up. So you're making a little bit of a doll shape, like imagine a doll's head and then a body. So it's kind of like that.
Okay.
And it's called a tassel. It's a little bit different than a pom-pom. And then at the bottom, the long part, you're going to cut the yarn so that it's loose. And then if some of the pieces are extra long, you can trim them off. And there you have another tassel that you could hang. Oh, let's see if I can get it in the camera. Boy, it's hard to see. Anyway, I've got tassels on both sides. There we go. And that's kind of a nice decoration too. Have you been able to make a tassel?
Yes, I'm almost done.
Okay, when you have it done, show me. They're kind of hard to make. I know it just takes some practice. And I highly recommend a piece of cardboard to wrap it around and then using your craft needle.
Okay, I think just need to do one more. Ugh.
Take your time.
Alright. What are you doing? Brother's playing hockey up there.
Maybe Santa is this.
And I'm done.
Maybe Santa is.
What?
Maybe Santa is jumping on our roof.
Santa is not jumping on our roof. She watched a movie last night, a Christmas one.
Oh, okay. So now she's got Santa on the. She's thinking
What's
about
Christmas season?
Santa.
And my tassel, purple.
All right, good. And I can't quite see. Did you manage to get the bottom cut so it's
Yeah.
not looped? You can also leave it as loops if you like the loops. You can do that instead of cutting it. It's
I
your
can see
tassel. You get to make it however you want. See, I lost my scissors. There, I made another one. Maybe you can see it a little better. I made a color.
I can see it better. What the hell?
It's having that my money.
Okay, I have showed you everything I have today. So you can decorate. Remember, you can decorate with buttons, sequins, beads, anything you find. If you find some pretty rocks, some feathers, they can be glued on, they can be sewn on. Obviously, you are a sewer. You can use different sticks and things, and you can show your friends how to do this now too, Audrey. And now you know how to make a pom-pom or a tassel. That's great. So I hope you have lots of fun making these for Christmas presents. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Could you make one of these for me for Christmas?
Sure. Just have to pick out your yarn. What color? Okay.
This
Talk about it
Do
later.
you have, Audrey, do you have more yarn at your house?
Yes.
Okay, and maybe your grandma has some too?
Yes, I have plenty of yarn.
Good, it's always nice to have a good yarn stash.
Even at Mama's house.
Yes, I'm in my house too.
Okay,
Mommy,
Lonnie, I'm not sure if we need to
the flower.
keep going or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, Audrey, thank you for being with us today. It was fun to meet you and to teach you how to make God's eyes, and I hope you have lots and lots of fun with them.
Okay.
Auntie, can you meet me
Okay,
when?
bye-bye.